Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Trois Dice. So, Trois Dice, if you know the base game, it feels kind of, sort of, maybe a little similar to Trois, but it's a dice game. Strangely enough, I wonder if it doesn't feel exactly like Twilight. Like it's using the title, it's using some of the elements of that game fighting back kind of idea. But other than that, I don't know how closely matched the two are. With this dice game, as opposed to other dice games that I've got, it's everyone working off exactly the same thing that's on the dice. So 4 dice are rolled and they're placed in position according to their values, and you can purchase one of those dice. One of them does negative stuff, but you can purchase one of the other dice. Everyone has the ability to do that. The box lists this plays up to 10, it could play up to 100. There's no real limit on the top end of what can play, other than being able to see the dice and interact with what's happening. What I found in each of my plays is that there is a list of resource, so money or flags or Bibles, that you can work through and you can use them to do various things. But you're very likely, at least I am very likely with the way that I play, to get that entire line of that resource and both of the other resources all circled by the end of the game. It's just how I play, because the very first thing that happens is when you select a die, you circle that many of whatever color you've selected. So if I choose a 5 on the yellow stuff, I'm circling 5 of the gold pieces, etc, etc, etc. And what I found is that usually by about 2/3 of the way through the game, I've totally circled everything off, and so there's no more waiting to be circled. You're then selecting what you do, and what I found is that the top groupings, they give protection. So this is the red space. If you select the red ones early and try and get as much covered as possible, that actually covers the entire lineup. So that when you get through to the third turn and the black die actually starts causing you to not be able to use spots, you have a whole bunch of stuff protected already. I found that playing this way really enables you to have as much page open to your abilities as possible by the end of the game or through the game. If you don't do that protection, you're going to lose whichever spots, whatever the dice are rolled for the black die. And that can actually be a really huge negative, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with it. The white area, the church area, the religion area is giving you points for all of the stuff that you've done on the page. And there's a lot of this thing talks to this thing. If you do that thing, you're going to get this and this and this that you do need to deal with this game. I found that I had my cousin who is a really good gamer. He finds that if there's too much going on with one situation, it's just a little bit blur. I don't really like that game. I enjoyed it, by the way, but you bear that in mind as you're leaning into the game, as you're pressing in, that not everyone's going to grasp everything necessary. It's a relatively straightforward teach, but getting the appropriate stuff is kind of what you need to get your head around. So you kind of need to do everything in the same order every time. I fear on my Gamesplay I've done a few things out of order, and I think that I've forgotten to do some things. I will put some little markers or comments on that, but I fear that that's happened simply because I've done things in different orders each time. You should deal with the black die, then choose the die you're going to do. If you're going to manipulate it, so the Bibles allow you to change the color of the die, the flags or the red area allows you to change the number of the die. Once you've done that, then take in the resource, so circling all the things along the line that you need, and then deal with the building that you're actually choosing between. So each spot has 2 different buildings on it that you can choose, and each of those buildings does something different to each other. Mostly they're giving you little meeples down the bottom and you're just circling your way along there. But each of those spots, some of them will give you benefit. It might be that by circling all 3 underneath this line, you're getting these things, or circling all 3 under here, you get to choose an extra building. All this type of stuff, it's really good play. But I don't know if it's a little heavier than you expect with a dice game. I don't know if this is just the dice version and it's a little bit lighter than I want it to feel. Yeah. I think that this is a playable game, a workable game. There is an expansion in the box. Well, they call it expansion. I just think you should put it in, which is just adding some little tokens next to spots, and when the black die hits that spot, that token will be turned over, and so a positive will become a negative after a little while. Little stuff like that is a worthwhile thing to do and worthwhile to look at. So look, I think that I'll leave that one there. Please go ahead and watch my Gamesplay and Gamesplanation to get a feel for Trois dice and how it plays and all the stuff that goes on with it. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.